Good pause YouTube, 6ftHax here. Have for you guys today. Pretty fun, good UU battle I had against Ace Train and Nicholas. This team was based around Mega Sceptile that I made. I'll leave a link to it down below. Like I said, I do want to upload Wi-Fi battles with all the new megas and stuff. So if you guys would like to test his team, make sure to check the description. Also, hammer on that like button down below if you do enjoy this video. So another really awesome Pokemon that dropped down to UU is Mamoswine. I'm very excited to use Mamoswine, but for the most part, this team was based around Mega Sceptile, which can definitely put in some work depending on how things go. But his Mega Sceptile is equally as big of a threat to my team. Also, Specs Primarina is always a threat. So he's going to be leading off with the Scizor, as I'm going to be leading off with my own Scizor, and he's going to be able to outspeed me, which has me thinking he's either a bulky, speed-invested Scizor, or judging from that Choice Banded damage, like I said, he's Choice Banded. So that means he's probably running a whole lot of speed and maybe no bulk, so we'll have to see how things go, as I will luckily be able to get switch initiative. And because he brought in Gliscor, this gives me a free switch into the Destroyer Samoa Joe, which is absolutely amazing because now I should be able to get on my Stealth Rocks. And because he is a Choice Banded Scizor, more than likely that means he doesn't have Defog, and typically Gliscor don't carry Defog from what I've seen in UU. So he's going to make a really good play here, knows I'm not going to go straight for the Ice move and most likely get up my Rocks, and he's going to take the chance to get up his own Rocks, which are going to be a little bit annoying just because now my team is going to be taking chip damage as well. But it's a nice even playing field now that I also got my Rocks up on his side of the field. So because I know Icicle Crash is painfully obvious, I'm going to predict him to switch into the Scizor here, and I'm going to go for the Earthquake. I do get a crit, but I ran the damage calc, and after Rocks, the combination of Earthquake plus Ice Shard is able to knock out non-HP and defense invested Scizor, which he said he was just max attack, max speed. So I would have been able to out-prioritize his Bullet Punch because I'm faster than him. As he brings in the Sceptile, Sceptile actually does have a chance to live a Jolly Life Orb Ice Shard, and there is a chance that he could also be running HP investment. So while I could have easily stayed in and gone for the Ice Shard, I really didn't want to do that just because of how huge of a threat Mamoswine is to his team. So I decided to switch into my Bug Lesnar here. Shouts out to my boy Wilmar. This is an absolutely amazing Buzzwole nick. This is probably easily the best Buzzwole nickname I've ever seen in my life, just because it's so hilarious and absolutely fitting. So I'm gonna go for the substitute because I literally have no safe switch into this Primarina. Like, if he gets the prediction correctly, he's gonna pick up a KO. So luckily I'm faster than him, and I'm gonna be able to substitute and see what he wants to lock himself into. As he does go for the Moonblast, there is now the chance that he's going to predict me to switch into my Scizor, and because I'm expecting him to do that, I'm going to predict him to double switch, predicting me to bring in Scizor, and I'm actually going to go for another substitute. He could have stayed in and gone for the Moonblast, but I think my switch directly into Scizor was a little bit more obvious for me to have made, so I think definitely going for a second substitute here was by far my better play, because now I'm behind a sub, as in comes the Nidoking. I luckily do have the Earthquake, and I have more than enough attack EVs invested into this monster to be able to straight knock out Nidoking. And if he did have the Focus Sash for some reason after Rocks, it is now going to be broken. So luckily, down goes the Nidoking. Nidoking was also another really huge threat. Luckily though, as you can see, I was able to play around it and knock it out, which is really awesome because he doesn't really have too safe of a switch in to this Buzzwole, especially behind a substitute. So he was basically forced to break the sub there because there was also the chance that I had the Ice Punch for the Gliscor. So he does unfortunately get a free switch back into Primarina, and because I am not running max attack on this Buzzwole, even though I am at +1, Earthquake does not knock him out, and there's a chance he's running HP investment. So I'm gonna sack off my Slowbro here just because it literally does nothing, but because Wilmar is lucky and bad, he's going to skillfully dodge the Hydro Pump there, which really sucks for Nicholas because this would have been one less switch in I had for his Primarina, and he wouldn't have had to take this potential damage. Then again, the damage roll I think was a 90% chance to 2 KO Slowbro after Rocks, but then there was also the chance he could have then missed the next Hydro Pump. So I don't know, it's all theory mining, honestly, but I can still keep my Slowbro in the back to sack off if need be. So that's going to be really good, as I'm going to switch directly into my Scizor here. I expected him to either go for the Giga Drain or go straight for the Focus Blast, which I can chill Focus Blast and then in return go for the Bullet Punch, or if I'm feeling ballsy, go for U-Turn, predicting him to switch out, as he is definitely in range where I think a Bullet Punch can knock him out if I remember the calc correctly. So there's a chance he could switch on out of here, and expecting him to switch, I end up going for the roost. In hindsight, I think U-turn was probably my better play, because now back comes this Primarina, but at the same time, I still have my Slowbro in the back, which is going to be able to potentially be sacked off to this Primarina, which I know it's a little bit odd that I'm just sacking off Slowbro, but if you saw team matchup, Slowbro really doesn't do anything in this battle, especially because I still have my own Primarina, which can definitely put in a lot of work against this team as well. So in comes Wilmar. This is actually what Wilmar looks like. He's got like the whole thing on his tail, and he's pink and all that stuff. So as you can see, Hydro Pump is about a 2-hit KO, and he misses another Hydro Pump as I'm able to get off some Side Shock damage. Honestly, this Side Shock damage doesn't really matter if you really think about it. Like, you guys will see, like, that Side Shock damage didn't matter at all, but it did suck that he missed 2 Hydro Pumps. But hey, Wilmar's lucky and bad, so I guess it is what it is. I'm just joking. So I'm going to be able to bring in my own Mega Sceptile now, and because he is locked into the Hydro Pump, and after Mega Evolving, Sceptile turns into a Dragon type, I do 4 times resist it. Even though he can still break my substitute, I can easily sub up until he misses, or there is the more likely chance that he's going to switch out, obviously knowing that I can easily pick him off with the Giga Drain. And I thought by substituting, it covered all the plays that he could have made relatively safely, because like I said, he could have missed, and then he was most likely going to switch out anyway. So behind the substitute, I can see what his answer is to this. As he switches directly into the Gliscor, I should be able to easily 2 or 3-hit KO this Gliscor depending on his EV spread, unless he's running a whole lot of Spadaf bulk, which it doesn't look like he is, because I can definitely 3-hit KO him with the Giga Drain, as he is then going to go for the U-turn. Typically Gliscor don't carry a flying stab move, so if it really came down to it, I could have potentially 1v1 this Gliscor, unless he had Ice Fang, which I have seen on occasion, but not too often on Gliscor. So he does U-turn into the circuitries. At this point, I want to find out if this thing is scarfed or not. If it's scarfed, it is going to be a little bit easier for me to play around, and if he's not scarfed, I outspeed him, and I hit him up with a Dragon Pulse or a Giga Drain. So he does turn out to be scarfed because he's able to outspeed me, and he's going to knock me out with the Hidden Power Ice. This now gives me a free switch into my own Primarina, and I do apologize for using Specs Primarina so much, guys, but it's such a monster in UU. I really think Primarina is like the best water type in UU right now, just because of its great dual stab and just how insanely hard it can hit with the choice specs, and Modest, even Timid, can hit really hard. So down goes the Gliscor, which is absolutely amazing. Unfortunately though, he does get a free switch back into his Circuitries, but it depends on what he locks himself into. There's also the chance that he could overpredict, expecting me to switch into my Mamoswine. And honestly, at this point, with him losing his Gliscor, I don't really need my Primarina, so even if he had gone for the Thunderbolt to finish me off, that would have been absolutely fine by me, because then I would have been able to bring in my Mamoswine. But because Primarina does have relatively good Spadef bulk, and Energy Ball is not stabbed, I will be able to chew that Energy Ball and in return knock out the Circuitries. As in comes the Sceptile. At this point, I can just leave in my Primarina here for Death Fodder to potentially get a switch back into either my Scizor or my Mamoswine, which Mamoswine can finish off the Sceptile with Ice Shard. And I'm pretty sure Sceptile is in range of where Bullet Punch from bulky Scizor can also finish him off. But because we bring out Destroyers in here and we got Samoa Joe, he's going to come out here and I should be able to easily Ice Shard this Sceptile, and his last mon is going to be the Primarina, which, like I said, the Side Shock damage doesn't really matter, because after the couple Stealth Rock switch-ins that he had, I still would have been able to knock him out with the Jolly Life Orb Earthquake. So yeah, it does still suck that he missed, but that is Pokemon. Hacks is part of the game, and while it can be very, trust me, I know how frustrating hacks can be, trust me, but it's just, you have to accept it, and that's just how things go. Either way though, really happy that Mega Sceptile put in some work. Like I said, we'll definitely be using the other new Megas in future Wi-Fi battles to show off for you guys on here. So if you did enjoy the video, make sure to hammer that like button down below, guys. Let me know what you think about the new Megas in the UU tier. And with that being said, 2 videos on the end screen for you guys to go check out if you've not seen them already. 18K special also went up a couple days ago. If you haven't seen that already, if you asked me a question there, you want to hear the answer, then you can go check that out. There was also some Overwatch gameplay I put in there, just if you want to watch that. But yeah, with all that being said, guys, thank you all for watching. Later, everybody.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in a knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.